I've got kind of a fundamental belief that you go with your life as well. And so almost everything that we've been involved with has been things that we are not just giving to, but things that we're really passionate about.
We had some good friends who were involved with the Global Orphan Project and had been to Haiti, and they really insisted that we go. And it was a little bit out of our comfort zone, but we went, and it was life-changing.
It was, shocking to understand how the vast majority of the world lives, and even more shocking to understand that how many children there are without families. And so, it was a fairly cataclysmic event for our family being there.
Coming back home in the first week, you walk into your home and think of how many bunk beds could fit in it. And it really spoke to our hearts to be generous and to go further in our generosity.
We see these horrible videos of family breakdown and poverty and broken systems all around the world. And in our country, the foster care system is a gateway to homelessness and sex trafficking and incarceration. And that's why we created CarePortal, to go upstream and help these families at the moment of crisis for them, so that those things never happen to those kids.
One of the things we learned while, as we got more involved with Global Orphan Project and CarePortal and what have you, was that 80% of the orphans in the world are economic orphans. And to me, that was a shock. I always thought of Orphan Annie, that no mom, no dad. But the reality of the situation is, in the vast majority of cases, it's a child that actually has a living parent, oftentimes a single mom, that simply can't get a job, and children are abandoned in mass to orphanages because the parents can't care for the kids. So at this time, my son had become a student at Wheaton, and he had determined that he wanted to be an entrepreneur.
So my dad has always been an entrepreneur, and I have as well. Since I was young, I love to take ideas and turn them into reality. Him and I went to Haiti together, and we went to Uganda to visit villages and to visit small businesses with people who were really just trying to be good stewards and be generous to the community around them. And so that was one way really that he showed me how not only to be a steward of physical resources, but then to be able to turn those resources into an engine for generosity and for giving and impacting communities at large. And so
he really latched on to this concept that you could have a business that would create jobs, that would change the trajectory of families and really help, avoid family breakdown due to, extreme poverty.
Specifically, Restoration Apparel is creating jobs within the largest exploitative industry in the world, which is the sewing industry.
We got on a higher tech manufacturing process called dye sublimation. They tell us the ripple effect of that is maybe 5 to 6 people being supported for each of these jobs. So it's grown. We are now in the position of being able to be generous, and so we're super excited about the CarePortal. It's something very specific that we can do in terms of investing.
And we're doing so really to try to create an engine for generosity for my dad and I, and for the rest of our team, to be creative in how we give, like giving through CarePortal. But in addition to that, we really want to create a mechanism for dignity for our people, and something that is life-giving for them and their families, for generational wealth and for impact over the long haul. So
we hear from businesses all the time that they want to make a difference in their community, but they're not sure how to do it in a way that makes sense for them. Now that CarePortal's here, where it connects kids and families in crisis with people in proximity that want to help using technology, businesses all over the place are sitting from their offices, and they're able to see the needs of real kids who are in and around the foster system, who might be approaching homelessness or incarceration. If they just had this one little thing, it could make all the difference. And using the CarePortal app, they can just make a donation and watch that thing happen in real time in their community through a local church who will be at the point of care for that family. And Mikey, with Restoration Apparel, as a community champion, they are a great example of that.
So what's super cool at Restoration Apparel is that we actually, as a community champion, get to come together every Tuesday morning and sit and read through the need of someone in our community. And so a good example would be a single mom has been in a difficult situation and is in need of a bed for her kids, or is in need of rent support for her kids. And prior to our strategic meeting, after we've read that need, we actually all sit down and we pray. And we pray for that mom and for her kids, and then we meet the need together.
It's actually been incredible to see what just a tiny little yes, saying yes to a trip and yes to getting to know the Global Orphan Project, how the Lord's used it to create something that is bigger than we could have ever imagined.
With CarePortal, what I've really been most amazed by is that it takes what the church was already doing within a community, especially an under-resourced community, and it puts wind behind the sails in a way that allows them to do more and multiplies the impact.
The things that we say and do and how we invest our time and talents and treasures, trying to set a good example for the next generation.
There's no way to have an eternal impact. There's no better way than to help foster in our children and in our grandchildren, loving, giving, serving in the name of Christ.